You should never be paying a deposit. That's ridiculous. That you spend five. Hello and welcome everybody to the Housing Tips. It's the show where we talk about housing information, housing news, and everything in between. My name is Eric, and joining me today is my co-host Jesse. How are you today, Jesse?
I'm feeling like a fake listing. Too good to be true, man.
Speaking of great listings and fake listings, what is today's topic of today's video, Jesse?
Today's topic is going to be how to spot a real estate scam.
Awesome. Well, let's get started on the first topic, Jesse. What is the first topic you wanted to bring up to the viewers?
Just wanted to kind of share with people just different, maybe real estate scams and things to kind of keep an eye out for. Hasn't happened to me due to due diligence and double checking and all that. But there's one that did see. Maybe I'll start with that. Fake rental listings. Scammers will copy like listings and they'll post it on Zillow as a rental. I did have that happen for the first time last year or the year before. We closed, and then my client said, "Hey, like people are coming to my house. They were just like getting situated, like just moving stuff in. Like people are asking me like how much the rent is." I'm like, "What?" So I did some research. Yeah, and the application had like a weird website for the listing application. So something for people to really keep an eye out and double check. Like you should not be paying a deposit to tour a property. You want to really just kind of double check your sources and see, because some people will really just do that. They'll go through properties that close, cut, copy, paste, submit, and then someone who's looking in trouble, they might pay a deposit to try to, secure the property if they think they'll do that.
That's very interesting. Something I wanted to bring up. So you said that you shouldn't be paying a deposit to view a property. So is there anything else that you should watch out for that could trigger things on either Craigslist or Zillow or Facebook if you're looking for a rental or looking for something that raises some red flags? Because I agree, you should never be paying a deposit. That's ridiculous. That you spend 5 minutes in the property, if that, maybe 30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like a lot will say like, "Hey, pay this in order to view." Like that sounds like too good to be true. I think also if there's any like unusual like low price, something's kind of off, right? And so we see 3 bedroom, 2 bath house in West Covina for $600. Uh, that doesn't align with just how things are. We might get excited and say, "Well, you never know," but you never know is always kind of no.
Definitely, especially with the age of like the internet, I strongly believe that there's no longer going to be those deals out there. I see it especially with the car side is if you see a deal that's too good to be true in a car, either the car is completely destroyed or there's some stipulation with it. So I agree. If you see a posting for rent in a desirable location that says for $500 you get all this, but then you read the stipulation, it says, "Oh, you get half of one bedroom and you get a quarter of a bathroom for that price." I think that would be something I've seen all too much, especially with scammers. Like you said, there are a lot of people when they move, they're not told ahead of time that they're looking for somewhere to move. They have to find a place almost immediately.
Yeah.
And so people play on those people that say, "Oh, we got to do it right now. We got to set it up right now." And they're looking for a deal because a lot of the time when you move last minute, you're not looking to pay top dollar because you don't even know if that area is something you want to live in or spend your time in. But that's a fantastic, very fantastic idea. And then one thing I wanted to bring up though was the next topic is wire fraud. And I actually have a little bit of experience with this, but would love to hear your take, Jesse, before giving mine.
Sounds scary, but it's happened. Has it happened to any of my clients? No, knock on wood for any future ones. But scammers they'll send emails with info for their accounts, like for you to wire during escrow. So you always, every time my escrow sends out, they won't send out the full account numbers. They'll leave out, certain numbers blank, and then for you to call the escrow company to verify and double check. you never want to assume. I think I always just kind of err on the safe side, and I always call as well. Hey, for my client, on this case, this is the escrow number. Just wanted to verify the account number, and they'll provide me that information. I'll then safely secure send that to my client, whether they prefer, I don't know, through text as opposed to email, if that's safer for them, where they're going to store that file. And then still, like, hey, still call and double check. This is what I sent,
Yeah.
but let's err on the safe side. Like, that's a lot of money to just kind of get lost. Or even if we make a mistake, if you make a
Yes.
mistake, that can kill the deal, because then
Hmm.
it takes even longer for it to go back.
Yeah. That's actually a very interesting thought. I mean, something I might be old fashioned with that, but I think being able to just like sit down with someone while you're doing that wire transfer, because I know when you purchase a property it's extremely stressful, but just sitting down with someone and say, okay, here's the numbers, okay, are you verifying each of the numbers, okay, let's send the payment. Because I agree, when I purchased this condo, I only got one email, and it wasn't even from the email of the person that was sending all the escrow information. It was like some random email. It just said, here's like a long chain of numbers.
Mhm.
Call up Chase and send the money now. And it's like, I wish there was like a better way of doing wire transfers, because yeah, it's very stressful. Because you look at all that money and it's very hard to get that money back if the numbers are wrong or something
Mhm.
happens. So that's very interesting that I bring up that point.
Yeah, because when you open escrow, escrow's taking the lead, and they're sending you so much paperwork. Um, I'll always take time to kind of break it down. Usually, I'm looking at the paperwork with my clients at our inspection, and then just have all the sections organized, and then letting them know you know, what they would fill out here. This is for that piece. I think that can really just kind of lessen that fear or kind of anxiety, because it's a lot. They just
Yeah,
send
it's
you
a lot
sign
of money.
here, click here,
Yeah,
and it's scary. It's just scary, to just even think of all that money just being gone.
definitely. And it happens instantaneously too.
Yeah.
It's not like a Venmo deposit. Like it just is gone. You watch that number disappear. But speaking of the last topic I wanted to bring up, and I actually find it very interesting, the last topic you wanted to bring up today, Jesse, and that was foreclosure rescue scams, which is becoming very prevalent,
Mhm.
especially in the modern age of doing everything quickly and everything needs to be done right away. But we'd love to hear your thoughts, Jesse, about that scam.
Yeah, I think what gets me a bit agitated is people preying on like distressed homeowners. If it's they know it's they're on default, that is all public information, so people know you're behind on mortgage. And then these individuals are calling to, hey, we can save your home from foreclosure, like this amount of fee, and then I'll be able to move quick and do this, and just these promises that don't make sense. But hey, this person can do it, and they'll collect the payment, and then they won't hear from this individual. They'll just kind of vanish, and then it's what's their name, their license company? Like, did you vet and kind of double check that? Um, and I've heard stories from like people where like a realtor saying that they met someone that said like, I don't know, it was that this guy just said he would help me, and it just felt very bad. Like they were already in a
Definitely.
tough time, already behind in so much, and then an added of just kind of what they had left over in their savings, and that just got lost. It's really disheartening to kind of hear that people are, targeting people like that.
No, definitely. And then isn't it interesting too, like you told me off camera that I wanted to bring up was that these people that say I buy your house in cash,
Yes.
like they're all over the internet now,
Hmm.
all over TV. And you were telling me it's like, yeah, they technically buy your, but the seller will get their money, but then they're just floating the money until they could possibly find another sucker to try to sell the house to, and they try to just make a premium on that. So they're just the whole time they're just floating
Hmm.
this fake money around to try to buy and sell these houses, which I know it's not a scam, but to me it kind of gives a scammy feel.
It does.
Is one, they say, "Oh, I buy your house in cash," but they highly, highly undervalue your house. And then when they purchase the house, they're just floating all this money around to move everything and just say, "Hey, we're gonna move some money here to do this, and we're gonna pay you off like this and do that." But I know it's not as technically a scam and it's technically legal, but to me, it kind of gives that vibe of a scammy feel, because then what ends up happening is they either try flipping the house for more money, which makes the housing market worse. So if someone sells their house, one of those cash buyers for 400,000, and then this seller tries to flip it and dish it and do all these things, and they try to flip it for 600,000, and it just makes the housing market worse.
I think it's that full transparency, and I think
Yes.
that's something that I'm needed to abide by as a realtor, and my ethics and values of letting my clients know, like, hey, this is value of your property based on condition. This is probably what you'll get. Right now, based on your situation, let's set a plan and see. These investors, there's good and bad, I think, for everything. There's some that are fully transparent and, this is my business, this is how I operate. There's a lot that don't give that full transparency. And, I'll get calls, hey, you have any properties that need fixing? Or I've worked with previous investors as well. Yeah, we'll buy it cash. Then once we're in escrow, it's like a hard money loan. And so they're needing to qualify based on the price that they locked in the property. They're like, okay, you got it at a good price. This is how much is worth fixed up. And then that lender will try to move quicker than a regular loan, and then provide all those funds. And then that's what they're wiring to escrow. I think that transparency is what makes it hard. A lot don't say that. Hey, I'm a cash, but it's a hard money loan. Typically, I'm closing within this amount of time. Like, don't tell me you close in 7 days if you don't have all that amount in your bank account. That's okay.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that, because there's people that are not going to take that risk and get a hard money loan for like 1 point something mil and then see what happens with the market and do the rehab. So I think transparency, that just keeps popping up in my head.
Definitely. No, it's great way to end this video. Is there anything else, Jesse, you want to talk about before closing out this video?
Just be careful. I think if anything sounds too good to be true, double check. If you're feeling pressured, if you're feeling like, hey, I'm going to jump to the next person, or that pressure to act quickly, take a step back and really see and kind of vet before you kind of get into situations where later on you'll kind of regret.
Definitely. And as always, I always say in every one of our videos, if you have any questions or would like to learn more, please check out our videos down below. But as always, though, Jesse, thank you so much for your time, and everybody have a great day.